The Aramaic and Palestinian Targum, Exodus chapter 37. And Bezalel made the ark of cedar wood, 2 cubits, and a half its length, and a cubit and a half its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. And he covered it with pure gold within and without, and made for it a crown of gold round about. And he cast for it 4 golden rings upon the 4 corners, 2 rings upon one side of it, 2 rings upon the second side. And he made the staves of it of cedar wood, and covered them with gold, and put the staves into the rings upon the sides of the ark to carry the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half the length, and a cubit and a half its breadth, but its thickness was a span. And he made 2 cherubim of pure gold, beaten, made be them, on the 2 sides of the mercy seat, 1 cherubim on this side, and 1 cherubim on that side, of beaten work, and the cherubim were face to face. They were not separated from the mercy seat, but by the wisdom of the spirit of prophecy he made the cherubim on its 2 sides. And the cherubim spread forth its wings, with their heads upward, overshadowing the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces were toward each other. Over against the mercy seat were the faces of the cherubim. And he made the table of cedar wood, 2 cubits its length, and a cubit its breadth, and a cubit and half its height. And he covered it with pure gold, and made for it a golden crown round about. And he made a border for it, its height a span round about. Jerusalem, a border a span around, and he made a cornel of gold for the surrounding border. And he made a crown of gold for the border round about. And he cast for it 4 golden rings, and set the rings upon the 4 corners of its 4 feet. Over against the border were the rings, the place for the staves in carrying the table. And he made the staves of cedar wood, and covered them with gold for carrying the table. And he made the vessels to be upon the table, its dishes, its bowls, and its measures, and its cups for the laving, of pure gold. And he made the cantelaberium of pure gold, beaten made he the cantelaberium, its base and its shaft, its cups, its apples, and its lilies were of the same. And 6 branches came forth from its sides, 3 branches of the candelabrum on one side, and 3 branches of the candelabrum on the second side. 3 embossed cups with the figurations on one branch, with the apple and lily, and 3 embossed cups with the figurations on the other branch, with the apple and lily. So the 6 branches which proceeded from the candelabrum, and upon the candelabrum 4 embossed cups with the figurations of apples and lilies. And an apple was under 2 branches of the same, and an apple under the branches of the same, and an apple under the branches of the same, for the 6 branches that proceeded from it. The apples and the branches were of the same, all of it one beaten work of pure gold, of a talent of pure gold made he it and all its vessels. And he made the altar of sweet incense of cedar wood, a cubit its length, and a cubit its breadth 4 square, and 2 cubits its height. Its 2 upright horns were of the same, and he overlaid it with pure gold, its top and its sides round about, and its horns. And he made for it a golden crown round about, and 2 golden rings he made for it under its crown, and its 2 corners upon its 2 sides, to be the place of the staves by which to carry it. And the staves be made of cedar wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the sacred oil of anointing, and the pure incense of the work of the perfumer. Chapter 38. And he made the altar of burnt offering of cedar wood, 5 cubits its length, and 5 cubits its breadth, 4 square, and 3 cubits its height. And he made horns upon its 4 corners. Of the same were its horns, stretching upward, and he covered it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots and the cleaners and the basins and the flesh hooks, and the pans, all its vessels made he of brass. And he made the grate of the altar of brazen network under the border beneath, reaching to the middle of it, to receive the cinders and bones that fell from the altar. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 corners of the grate of brass, to be places for the staves. And he made the staves of cedar wood, and coated them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings upon the sides of the altar, to carry it by them, hollow with boards, and filled with earth made he it. And he made the brazen laver, and its foundation of brass, for the brazen mirrors of the pious woman, who, at the season, came to pray at the door of the tabernacle of appointment, standing with the oblations, giving thanks and confession, and returning to their husbands, the mothers of righteous children, who had been purified from the uncleanness of their blood. Jerusalem. And he made the laver of brass, and the brass thereof of brass, with the mirrors of the pious women, who were devout at the gate of the tabernacle of appointment. And he made the court on the southern side. The curtains of the court made he with fine linen, 100 cubits, their pillars 20, and their bases 20 of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their rods were of silver, and on the north side 100 cubits, their pillars 20, and their bases 20 of brass. The hooks of the pillars and the rods were of silver. And the curtains on the western side 15 cubits, their pillars 10, and their bases 10. The hooks of the pillars and their rods were of silver. And on the east side eastward 50 cubits, and the curtains were 15 cubits on a side, their pillars 3, and their bases 3. And for the second side of the door of the court, here and there, at the gate of the court, curtains 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their bases 3. All the curtains of the court round about were of fine linen twined, and the bases of the pillars were of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their rods of silver, and the overlaying of their capital silver, and the rod silver. So were made all the pillars of the court. And the hanging for the gate of the court was made of embroidered work, in hyacinth, and purple, and crimson, and fine linen twined. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height on its breadth 5 cubits, corresponding with the curtains of the court. And their pillars 4, and their bases 4 of brass, their hooks silver, and the overlaying of their capitals, and their rods silver. But all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were brass. These are the sums, weights, and numbers of the tabernacle of the testimony, which were counted by the word of the mouth of Moshe. But the service of the Levites was by the hand of Ithamar bar Aaron the priest, and Bezalel bar Uri bar Hur of the tribe of Judah made all that the Lord had commanded Moshe, and with him Ahabalib bar Eshkenamach of the tribe of Dan, a worker in wood, and an artificer, and an embroiderer in hyacinth, and in purple, and in crimson, and in fine linen. All the gold that was used in making the whole work of the sanctuary. And it was the amount of the gold of the oblation was 29 talents, and 730 shekels in the shekel of the sanctuary. This was the gold of the oblation, which every man of the sons of Israel whose heart was willing had offered as a separation. And the silver of them who were numbered of the sons of Israel, who gave at the time when Moshe numbered them, every one for the redemption of his soul, 100 talents, and 1,775 shekels of the shekel of the sanctuary. A drachma for each head, a half shekel of the sanctuary, for every one who passed to the numberments, from 20 years and upwards, for 630,550 men. And there were 100 talents of silver for casting the bases of the sanctuary, and the bases of the veil, 100 bases, answering to the talents, a talent for a base. And with 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and the overlaying of their capitals and their rods. And the base of the oblation was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And he made it with the bases of the gate of the tabernacle of ordinance, and the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the bases of the court round about, and the bases of the gate of the court, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. This is the end of the reading.